a peer support group continues to provide ongoing care from supporters. Newswatch starts right now.
The debate continues over a city ordinance banning plastic bags in Athens. Good evening, I'm Silver Barker.
And I'm Madison Moore. In a packed meeting, Athens City Council heard from members of the community about a new ordinance looking to ban businesses in the city from using plastic bags. The proposed ordinance would ban businesses, including food trucks, from using plastic bags. One business owner, Barbara Stout, says she thinks the ban would hurt small businesses in Athens because of the higher cost of paper bags.
But I want to remind everybody that the words recycling and reuse are very, very misused. Plastic bags they're not biodegradable. They don't go away. Paper bags will eventually rot in the landfill, but plastic is never going to go away. Not in your lifetime, not in mine, and not in my grandchildren's lifetime. That's who I'm here to protect.
Debate on the ordinance continues Monday at City Hall. Local protesters here in Athens were outside the courthouse on Court Street today. It's one of more than 95 protests happening across the country organized by the group Third Act. The group is calling on banks to end the funding of fossil fuel expansion. Third Act Ohio member Heather Cantino says they are targeting Chase Bank since it's close to home and a huge supporter for fossil fuels.
The reason that the banks were chosen is because they are enabling the destruction caused by climate change, by funding fossil fuels. And we are targeting Chase because it's here and it's actually the largest funder of fossil fuels in the world.
Protests were also held in Cincinnati, Columbus, and Cleveland.
3 projects in Southeast Ohio are among the first to receive funds from the Appalachian Community Grant Program. The 3 projects span 7 counties in the region. State lawmakers created the $500 million Appalachian Community Grant Program last year. In a news release, Governor Mike DeWine says the money will help rebuild economies of Appalachian counties and improve quality of life for those living there. One of the 3 projects will receive $17.6 million to rehabilitate 6 historic buildings in Athens, Hawkins, Somerset, and Coshocton counties. The buildings include the Athens Armory, the Hawking Hills Children's Museum, the Hawking Hills Chamber, the Logan Theater, and Community Arts Center, the Somerset Builders Club, and the Coshocton Collaborative. The second grant of $25.8 million will go to the Survivors Advocacy Outreach Program. The money will go towards establishing a mental health drop-in center and expand its new Leaf Recovery villages. The third grant of more than $4 million was awarded to the Outdoor Recreation Council of Appalachia. Officials put the money towards completing more trails and visitor facilities for the Bailey's Trail system near Logan. The money will also go towards developing new tourism in Athens, Meigs, and Jackson counties. Speaking of the outdoors, it's beginning to feel more like spring here in Southeast Ohio. And to make sure you stay safe this spring, lawmakers have declared this week Spring Weather Awareness Week. Officials say temperature fluctuations can be a recipe for severe weather, especially tornadoes. To stay safe this spring, officials are reminding to have emergency and sheltering plans. A statewide tornado drill will take place tomorrow at 9:50 a.m. Here to tell us more about this spring weather is forecaster Cam Kuzno. Cam, what can we expect to see this week?
Well, I'll tell you what we won't be able to expect, and that's another beautiful day like we've had today and yesterday. Things are going to start to get rainy, and things are going to start to get a little wet around here in Athens, but right now the temperature is 61 degrees under some clear skies. That 61 degrees also represents the high temperature from today. Winds were from the south at 6 miles per hour. Those have been dying down as the day progresses. Our barometer is also falling as a really slow-moving low-pressure system is going to begin to move into the region. The low temperature tonight is expected to be 39 degrees, and we saw partly sunny skies. Tonight's sunset will be at 7:42 p.m. We'll expect sunrise at 7:27 a.m. We're working our way out of a new moon, dark night last night, and get used to seeing that chance of showers because it is going to be persistent as the week goes on. We'll hear more about that on my full forecast, but for now, we'll toss it back to you, Silver.
A lawsuit is asking the Ohio Supreme Court to determine if an error was made by the state ballot board after they approved language for a proposed amendment. John Hartman, the attorney for the two Ohioans who filed the complaint, says the ballot board was wrong in its decision when it cleared the language as being one petition. Supporters of the amendment have already begun circulating the petition as of last week.
Nurses from around Ohio gather at the State House to advocate for better patient care. The nurses say they want a bill establishing mandated staffing ratios. Greg Goodman of Columbus says inadequate staffing puts nurses themselves in more danger of violence. He says some hospitals have negotiated these ratios into nurses' contracts, but says that doesn't create a level playing field. There have been bills in the past put in place these ratios, but they failed to pass. No bill on staffing ratios has been introduced this year. A bill changing child custody laws in the state is being criticized as being against the best interest of kids. The new bill would require courts to use equal parenting as a default position when hearing custody cases. Opponents of the bill say it requires to put emphasis on parents rather than the child. They also say the bill would remove existing guardrails that help prevent children from abuse by requiring proof. Retired Ohio Supreme Court Justice Paul Pfeiffer describes the bill as a hot mess. Supporters of the bill say the new law would create a guide for how courts decide in similar cases and removes the incentive for parents to fight. Why there is no need to worry about 401k. That story's still ahead. Plus, why more than 500,000 kids didn't go to school in the nation's second largest school district today. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
He gripped my arm
and he started to massage my shoulders
in a forceful way.
Stories with uncanny similarities.
He came back in a robe,
just like an open robe. If you were in his movie, you had a shot at an Academy Award.
He used these non-disclosure agreements.
It was a show of power.
I think a lot of people turned a blind eye at
and control.
I think his career is over, but you know, who knows? Anything can happen.
Tuesday at 10 on WOUB.
On Secrets of the Dead, Ferdinand Magellan sails in search of a western sea route to the Spice Islands.
To Christian Europeans, the 16th century will be the age of discovery.
But the Europeans have not discovered anything at all.
There were rebellions and mutinies, and he really had his share of troubles.
It's a tremendous feat of human endurance.
Magellan's Crossing on Secrets of the Dead.
Wednesday at 10 on WOUB.
In the heart of North America, there is wild country. These are the Rocky Mountains, one of the most challenging places to grow up in on Earth. Here, the young must quickly learn the rules of their tribe to find their place. Journey from the American Southwest to the Canadian Arctic. Discover what it's like to be born in the Rockies.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
The Maya built great cities.
Terraces, road systems, it's a perfect planned city.
And then abandoned them. Can new discoveries reveal why?
And then, bam, we have these huge deposits.
It is completely unique. There's nothing like it.
There's a history behind those artifacts, a culture we want to know better. The Maya are still here.
Ancient Maya Metropolis on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
Stay the course or take a pause? That's the question the Federal Reserve will ponder as it makes its next decision on rate hikes. The Fed kicked off a two-day meeting today, and the announcement will come tomorrow afternoon. Karen Kafa is in Washington to break it down.
The Federal Reserve sees inflation easing, but a shaky banking sector, making their decision on interest rates more complicated.
I think what matters is, can they stabilize the banking system so they can free up their ability to tackle inflation.
Since last March, the Fed has pushed interest rates higher to make borrowing more expensive and cool spending. Annual inflation was down to 6% in February from a 40-year high of 9.1% last June. The Fed's target inflation rate is 2%. The labor market remains strong, keeping labor costs high for companies. So these economic indicators would typically point to another rate increase Wednesday.
Taken in isolation, I mean, the economy looks very, very good right now. And yes, the Fed would probably be raising rates by 25 basis points without what's going on right now. That said, what's going on right now is very unsettling.
But the Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank collapses raise questions about what banks can handle, with higher interest rates pushing down the value of bonds they purchased when rates were low. Professor Valentina Bruno of American University says the Fed has little room for miscalculation.
If the Fed hit the brakes too hard, it could be the beginning of a slowdown or even worse, a painful recession. And if the Fed hit the brakes too little, then inflation may go out of control.
The recent rate hikes put pressure on consumers from both sides, still facing high inflation at the grocery store and elsewhere, while paying more in credit card interest on mortgages and auto loans. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
As the stock market continues to fluctuate, many Americans are worrying about their 401ks. Ivan Rodriguez has more on why there is no need to worry.
No one likes a stock market on the downturn, and in today's bear market, the idea of investing might not put a smile on your face. But what should you do if you're already participating in a 401k plan at work?
401k is an account type, not an investment strategy.
Isabel Barrow, Director of Financial Planning at Edelman Financial Engine, says it's a no-brainer when deciding whether or not to participate in your employer-sponsored retirement plans because of all the benefits. Barrow says how you look at your 401k, especially in low-performing markets like this one, depends on how soon you're wanting to retire. For those closer to retirement, pay close attention. A down market has more of an impact on your ability to retire with the amount of money you were counting on. And for younger employees, play the long game. Don't get spooked.
It's the further away you are from retirement or from needing that money, the less impact these types of market dips or market downturns have on your long term.
And for that group, Barrow says this down market is actually a great time to increase your contributions and invest more, not pull back.
Buying into a market like this and getting a tax break for it and maybe even getting an employer match, well, it's kind of like buying the sweater on sale. And at some point, if the sweater goes back up to $10, hey, look, you've just made $2 by just putting in, by just making that initial contribution.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
More than 500,000 kids didn't go to school in the nation's second largest school district today, but union school workers did with picket signs. The union, representing 30,000 support staff, called a 3-day strike after nearly a year of negotiations with the Los Angeles Unified School District. An attempt at last-minute talks failed Monday. Mike Valerio has the latest.
USD has pushed us to a strike. Union school service workers on the picket line in Los Angeles. With them, a union representing around 30,000 LA public school teachers.
We start this solidarity strike in support of SEIU Local 99.
We know losing pay will be difficult, but LAUSD has pushed us to a strike. Cafeteria workers, custodians, bus drivers, and more, all fed up and united in their demands, primarily a 30% pay raise, one that could pull many union members above the state's poverty line.
Who can live on $25,000 a year?
House Democratic Congressmember Adam Schiff warning that 1 in 3 of the striking workers is at risk of homelessness.
They have to spend 85% of their income just to keep a roof over their head.
We know it is hard for our students and their families, but the permanent change that we're asking for will help students forever.
The LA Unified School District's latest offer included a 23% pay raise and full health benefits for some part-time workers. That was rejected by the union.
We have been at a fixed position for a long time. We want to land a historic contract that honors the work of our workforce.
Striking workers say their demands are fair and clear.
The onus is on the district. Did y'all hear me? The onus is on this district.
In Los Angeles, I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
The superintendent says his team has tried to negotiate in good faith, adding that if every demand by the union workers is met, it could put the school district into bankruptcy. Coming up on Newswatch, what a local peer support group is doing to offer mental health care. That story's still ahead.
And meteorological spring has arrived, and today sure felt like it. But will we continue that pattern or be plunged into the icy depths of winter? That story and more on my full forecast after the break. But for now, go ahead and stay up to date on the latest from Newswatch. Go ahead and check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
He gripped my arm.
And he started to massage my shoulders
In a forceful way.
Stories with uncanny similarities.
He came back in a robe, just like an open robe. If you were in his movie, you had a shot at an Academy Award.
He used these non-disclosure agreements.
It was a show of power.
I think a lot of people turned a blind eye at.
And control.
I think his career is over. But, you know, who knows? Anything can happen.
Tuesday at 10 on WOUB.
WOUB is recognizing members of our Cornerstone Society. The Cornerstone Society is a group that wants to ensure the future of public media in our region. It includes people across our area who value news, entertainment, and cultural programming, as well as the educational services WOUB provides. Also included are graduates of Ohio University who took part in the WOUB Student Professional Development Program. Thanks to the Cornerstone Society for their generous support. To learn how you can be involved, email woub@woub.org.
The Maya built great cities.
Terraces, road systems, it's a perfect planned city.
And then abandoned them. Can new discoveries reveal why?
And then, bam, we have these huge deposits.
It is completely unique. There's nothing like it.
There's a history behind those artifacts, a culture we want to know better. The Maya are still here.
Ancient Maya Metropolis on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
On Secrets of the Dead, Ferdinand Magellan sails in search of a western sea route to the Spice Islands.
To Christian Europeans, the 16th century will be the age of discovery.
But the Europeans have not discovered anything at all.
There were rebellions and mutinies, and he really had his share of troubles.
It's a tremendous feat of human endurance.
Magellan's Crossing on Secrets of the Dead.
Wednesday at 10 on WOUB.
Good evening, everybody, and I hope you had the chance to get outside today. We were treated to a wonderful spring day with temperatures hovering around the 60s and perfectly crystal clear skies. We have this huge clear slot right here that's going to be thanks to a high pressure system that's been affecting us over the past few days, which is why we've had just absolutely fantastic weather. We also have this low pressure system developing out here in the central United States that will spell trouble for us later on. This big stationary front low pressure system is going to push that high pressure system that we've been experiencing. The wonderful, wonderful clear skies are going to be making their way to the east. We will see a change in pattern for the upcoming days. Right now, we're looking at a temperature of 61 degrees here in Athens. It gets a little cooler up towards the north, 60 in Lancaster and 58 all the way over here in Wilmington, as well as some cloud cover starting to set in over the western portion of the state as that slow-moving low-pressure system starts to make its way into the region. The low tonight will be 39 degrees, and there will be a 30% chance of showers tonight as that system pushes its way into the region. Across the nation, we're seeing cloud cover through the central United States, all with that, and then clearer weather out here towards the east. Temperature-wise tomorrow, we'll be looking at around low 50s. It'll be 54 degrees in Pittsburgh, as well as that chance of rain that you can see over in Chicago and Louisville. The high temperature tomorrow will be 56 degrees with a 30% chance of showers and a low temperature of 48. The Storm Prediction Center has also issued a marginal severe weather risk for a lot of the central United States, but some of the northern portion of our viewing area is still in the chance for thunderstorms. And here's this low pressure system as it enters through tomorrow and the warm front associated with it, causing a huge chance of rain for lots of the country. And see just how slowly it's moved. It's barely made its way around Missouri for tomorrow night, and then by Thursday it'll be up around the Toledo area, still just kind of hovering menacingly over us, causing some rain over the next few days. And yeah, that's right, you see a chance of rain for pretty much every single day in the next 7 days, up to 70% on Thursday with a high of 72 and a low of 48. Then Friday and Saturday, we will continue to see that rain. We're expecting rain totals of up to 3 inches that'll be occurring for this weekend. And then Monday, Tuesday, that chance of rain persists with low temperatures dipping around 32 degrees on Tuesday, which means the chance of some mixed precipitation and some snow is still in the cards for us here in Athens. And that was it for my full forecast. Now I'll toss it over to the desk.
Thanks, Cam. This week on Newswatch, our reporters are taking a deep dive into mental health and how it's being addressed across the state with a special focus on Southeast Ohio.
Thanks, Madison. Peer recovery organizations pop up more across the state of Ohio as they gain more funding and benefit individuals recovering from mental health or substance abuse disorders. I spoke to some members of the program to learn more. If you would like to learn more, check out woub.org, as well as you can visit mha.ohio.gov. Send it back to the desk.
Sorry for the technical difficulties. So if you're struggling with mental health, call 988 or contact your local provider. Ohio University students can connect with counseling and psychological services on the phone or online.
We'll have more stories on mental health all week. You can listen to The Outlet on Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple Music for in-depth interviews with the reporters. And for even more information, you can read written content at woub.org.
Coming up, more on Tim Albin's return to Ohio football in the fall after the break. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
WOUB is recognizing members of our Cornerstone Society. The Cornerstone Society is a group that wants to ensure the future of public media in our region. It includes people across our area who value news, entertainment, and cultural programming, as well as the educational services WOUB provides. Also included are graduates of Ohio University who took part in the WOUB Student Professional Development Program. Thanks to the Cornerstone Society for their generous support. To learn how you can be involved, email woub@woub.org.
He gripped my arm.
And he started to massage my shoulders.
In a forceful way.
Stories with uncanny similarities.
He came back in a robe, just like an open robe. If you were in his movie, you had a shot at an Academy Award.
He used his non-disclosure agreements.
It was a show of power.
I think a lot of people turned a blind eye at.
And control.
I think his career is over. But, you know, who knows? Anything can happen.
Tuesday at 10 on WOUB.
In the heart of North America, there is wild country. These are the Rocky Mountains, one of the most challenging places to grow up in on Earth. Here, the young must quickly learn the rules of their tribe to find their place. Journey from the American Southwest to the Canadian Arctic. Discover what it's like to be born in the Rockies.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
The Maya built great cities.
Terraces, road systems, it's a perfect planned city.
And then abandoned them. Can new discoveries reveal why?
And then, bam, we have these huge deposits.
It is completely unique. There's nothing like it.
There's a history behind those artifacts, a culture we want to know better. The Maya are still here.
Ancient Maya Metropolis on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
Football head coach Tim Albin has inked a 2-year contract extension through the 2026 season. The third-year head coach was promoted to his role on July 15, 2021, after 16 years as the offensive coordinator for Ohio. The new deal jumps Albin's salary from $535,000 to $700,000. If Ohio wins 8 games or wins the MAC championship, Albin will receive an automatic year extension. In his first year, Albin and the Bobcats struggled to a 3-9 record, but wasted no time bouncing back in his sophomore year. The Bobcats went 10-4 overall, made an appearance in the MAC title game, and took home the Arizona Bowl with its win over Wyoming. And now we're going to toss it over
to Cam for our final weather.
Thank you, Madison. Tonight we're expecting a low temperature of 39 degrees as the beautiful weather we've had is going to begin to subside. Clouds are going to start to gather. They've already begun gathering through the western part of the state, and we're going to see a chance of showers tonight, a 30% chance of showers. The moon phase is going to be very dark. We've had a new moon yesterday, and we're going to start to build our way from that tonight. Tomorrow's sunrise will be at 7:27 a.m., and we are expecting sunset tonight at 7:42. Tomorrow, we're expecting a high of 56 with a persistent chance of showers that's going to continue to last throughout the course of the week. And we're expecting a low of 48, so that nighttime low will start to tick up as nights progress, even though we still have that persistent chance of rain. Across the nation, we're seeing temperatures all the way up in the 80s in the southern part of the United States. Around where we are, Chicago, Louisville, we're seeing mid to high 50s. And clouds to gather. That low pressure system over Missouri is going to slowly make its way across the country. It's going to start there in Missouri with the warm front ticking its way up towards us. And by tomorrow night, it'll cross Missouri and we will have that persistent chance of rain. Then by Thursday, that low will be directly over us and it'll sit there for a little while, causing a whole bunch of rain. Over the next few days, the National Weather Service is predicting around 3 inches of rain. So if you live in a flood-prone area or you see water on the road, make sure you don't drive through it. And remember the old saying, turn around, don't drown. Friday, we're expecting a 90% chance of showers with a high of 57 and a low of 46, and that will continue through to Saturday, where we'll see 60% chance of showers. Throughout the week, we will see showers practically every single day as temperatures will start to tick down. 72 degrees on Thursday, then down to 57 Friday, a slight warm up for the weekend. And we will continue to make our way through the end of March with 66 degrees and 60. Low temperatures will tell a similar story. We'll have a drop on Saturday when that cold front associated with the low pressure system hits us. Then that will tick up, and then we will see another cold front on Tuesday where the temperature will hit 34 and the chance of snow will come into play. So it's going to be a rainy few days here in Athens, and that'll be your complete look at the weather.
Scientists in Japan have discovered a new species of orchid. The pink and white blooms of flowers are so delicate and fragile that they look like they were spun from glass. It was identified in parks, gardens, and planters in Tokyo Prefecture. The newly described flower is a neighbor to populations of a related orchid common in the country. And according to scientists, it is an important reminder that unknown species are often living right under our noses. The findings were published in the Journal of Plant Research. Well, I don't know about you guys, but orchids are one of my favorite flowers.
Yeah, I mean, I love orchids. I think they're beautiful, but that's crazy they just now discovered this one. Just we keep making more steps in science and just discovering new things. It's so exciting.
Know. Who knew there were that many flowers? There could be so many more flowers out there that we don't even know about.
Yeah.
I know.
It's fascinating to me how we've been studying flowers for so long, and we're still making discoveries like this all the way in 2023. It's just absolutely breathtaking.
Yeah, and when they say it's fragile, are they saying that it can easily break off, the stem? That's what I'm just curious about when they say this is a fragile flower.
I'm thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the same thing.
Because are orchids usually fragile?
I think so.
They usually are, right?
Yeah, I believe they're usually fragile, so this one must be even more.
Yeah.
I know we missed. I know we missed your story about the gathering place, but can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, so peer recovery organizations are all across Ohio, and it focuses on a more socially based form of mental health recovery by talking to peers that have lived through similar experiences that you have. So it's more of a behavioral health based approach to mental health rather than more of a medical-based approach to mental health, if you will. And we have one great resource actually locally here in Athens called The Gathering Place. It's located on North Congress Street, and it's open to anybody in the city of Athens that's looking for mental health recovery support. They offer meals as well as resources to basic necessities, and it is a really great resource to check out if you're interested.
Thank you so much, Juliana. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Silver Barker, and for all of us here, again, thank you for watching.
And stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org.
Support comes from Visit Athens County. More information can be found at AthensOhio.com. Athens, it's more than a place.